What's up everyone, it's Hitman89, hope you're having an awesome day. A couple of days ago we had my updated Monster Hunter Wilds review, check it out if you're interested. And today, if you're on PS5 or PS5 Pro, then you've come to the right place, because we have the 10 best PS5 games of 2025 so far. But first, today's sponsor is World of Warships. To celebrate the 4th of July, new players who use the invite code STEPUP get tons of rewards. We're talking 7 days of premium time, 1 million credits, 500 doubloons, 2 US ships, the USS Albany and USS Smith, and you also get the patriotic Stars and Stripes skin. World of Warships is completely free to play, so join the fight and dominate your enemies in naval combat by making full use of that American firepower. Every ship is designed using real blueprints. That's probably why it literally takes them 6 months to build just one of these in-game. Speaking of ships, you'll be able to command massive battleships, rain hell from afar, or sneak in with destroyers. Whether you play PvP or PvE, solo or with friends, the game is a blast. Personally, I played it by myself and I got into sinking ships so much that I forgot to look in front of me. So I ran into a bigger ship and died instantly. But I learned my lesson, and the very next game I sunk 3 ships and barely got hit. It's incredibly addictive, so click the link below, use code STEPUP and dive into World of Warships on PC or console today. Alright, now let's dive into the first game on today's list. Stranding 2's got some really good graphics, and if you haven't played the first one, that's alright, because there is a recap that you can access directly from the main menu, so you can jump right into this one and still enjoy it. Which is great, because this is way better than the first game anyway. There is much more action, or stealth, depending on your playstyle, but most of the time, the main objective is still delivering packages. Cause yeah, in Death Stranding, you're basically a delivery guy, but it's not a walking simulator. Planning your route, dealing with harsh weather conditions and fighting enemies is pretty fun. Sometimes the physics in this game don't make any sense, but then again, that's far from being the weirdest thing you'll see here. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit in this game. Anyway, the soundtrack is dope, and whenever I have a bad day, I just play a little bit of Death Stranding 2 and it helps me relax, cause the game can be pretty chill, when you're not fighting BTs. Oh, and like in most PS5 exclusives, the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers are perfectly used here. But I got one big problem with the game. None of you guys know this, but I became a dad last year, and whenever that Death Stranding 2 baby cries, it triggers my PTSD. I swear to God, if this baby doesn't shut up, let's just move on to the second game before I say something horrible. Days Gone Remastered is mostly for those of you who never played the original on PS4, which I think is an underrated game that deserves a sequel, but anyway, this remaster offers some noticeable visual improvements, like the textures. They look much better now. Nights are darker, and if you want to see how long you can survive against these hordes of zombies on steroids, try out the Horde Survival mode. Since you play as a biker, you'll regularly have to fix your bike and fill your gas tank if you don't want to run out of gas while a zombie horde is chasing your ass. And that's it for this year's exclusives so far. Now we're gonna be looking at 3 former Xbox exclusives that landed on PS5 this year. The first one is none other than Forza Horizon 5, the best open world arcade racing game you can play. It's got destructible environments, and even if you're not really into racing games, this one is incredibly fun to play. It's got cars, bikes, boats, trains, and even planes. Forza Horizon 5 will definitely help you wait until the next Gran Turismo comes out, probably on PS6. After 6 months of Xbox and PC exclusivity, Orcs Must Die Deathtrap is finally coming to PS5. And this one is different than all the previous Orcs Must Die games, cause this is a 4-player co-op roguelite with no classic campaign mode. And if you've never played Orcs Must Die, the concept is pretty simple. There are hordes of orcs at the gates, and you have to prevent them from entering the rift by setting up tons of traps and shooting those dumbasses in the face with your crossbow or rifle. Cause you don't have an infinite budget, so you gotta set your traps strategically and coordinate with your friends to make sure you have every gate covered. I've played this a lot with my brother, and it's a pretty fun game if you can get it for like $30 or less. Now the 5th game I want to show you is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, a linear adventure game in first person where you'll be sneaking up on enemies and smashing all kinds of objects on their heads. And apart from beating the shit out of brain dead guys, you'll be solving puzzles and climbing around. As you can see, when you climb or swing your whip like this, the game switches to third-person view. If you're a huge Indiana Jones fan, then you'll absolutely love this game. But if you're still on the fence and you'd rather play a multiplayer game instead, then maybe check out the next one on my list. If you've been watching my vids for a while, then you probably know Elden Ring is one of my favorite games of all time. And even though Nightreign is a 3-player co-op roguelite where I can't take my time to explore, I still got addicted to it. The footage you're looking at was captured on PC, cause I use a mod to be able to play this with just my brother and not have to wait for a third player to join us. That being said, I even play this by myself every now and then, just to try out different builds. Keep in mind it's easier in solo, but also way less fun. So don't be like me, make some friends. Anyway, the frame rate constantly dips below 60, just like in Elden Ring, and there is no crossplay. But even with those major flaws, Nightreign is an excellent game and one of my favorites this year. I'm pretty sure you've already either played or at least heard of Oblivion Remastered, but in my opinion, Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon is a much better alternative, and I'll tell you why. The combat system is great. You feel the weight of your weapon, like this big-ass two-handed hammer that I use to crush my enemies. And sometimes I accidentally make them eat their own dick, like this drowner right here. Too bad there is some stuttering and frame rate dips here and there. Hope they fix it soon. Next, we have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. Back when I was a teenager, so a couple of decades ago, I loved those Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games on PS1 and PS2 so much that I got a skateboard in real life, and I couldn't even do an ollie without falling like a sack of shit. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 were my favorites, but 3 and 4 were great too. In most RPGs, you play some kinda handsome hero who's loved and respected by everyone. Not in KCD2. Here, you literally get covered in shit, people give you chores to do, and if you don't wash yourself frequently, everyone will let you know how stinky you are. Plus, look at him. Henry is one goofy looking son of a bitch. The combat system is directional, and once you get the hang of it, and some good weapons and armor, you'll be dropping enemies left and right, and sometimes you'll finish them off like this. Last but not least, we have a fun little game called Rematch. It's made by the guys behind Sifu, but it'll probably remind you more of Rocket League. If you're gonna pick this game up, make sure to play 5v5, cause the field is larger and people are forced to play with their teammates, unlike every 3v3 match where it's just ball hogs who think running around with the ball and shooting from horrible angles is better than passing it to you. Play this with at least 2 friends and you'll have a blast. Before you click away, let me show you a couple of games that didn't make the list, but that I thought were still worth checking out. The first one is Ready or Not, a tactical FPS that you can play solo or with up to 4 friends, and where you play as a SWAT unit, raid Twitch streamers, and scare the shit out of them. Just kidding, you save hostages and arrest criminals. Oblivion Remastered's got some insanely good looking environments, but I don't know if they'll ever fix the performance and bugs. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 on the other hand is a must play if you like turn-based RPGs. It's worth every penny, and I think it's currently on sale, so give it a shot if you haven't already. And those are the best games to play on PS5 right now. Please don't forget to support the channel by downloading World of Warships via the link in the description and using the invite code STEPUP to get a bunch of rewards. Next we'll have a review and then the best online games. So if you like the content, please don't forget to show your support with a thumbs up and a subscription. It really helps. It's been Hitman89. Have a good one.